welcome back to the second episode of the People Out There podcast. Before we get into this episode, I just want to say thank you for all the support on the first episode. It's been really good. It's been flattering. I know, Tarni, you were helping me support it, so it was a good start to see everyone like the first episode. So thanks for that. But we'll get cracking into this one. So today I've got Tarni with me, and I'll let her tell a bit more of her story and why I got her on here. So if you want to get into your story.
Cool. So I'm Tarni. So I'm 18. I'm a proud Gunditijmara and Djab Wurrung woman. And I'd also like to acknowledge country of the Wurrung people that we are
probably should have done
on.
that, yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's all cool. That's what I'm here for. To talk about that stuff.
Exactly,
and I'm here to talk about what it's like living as a young Aboriginal woman in a town like Ballarat.
Yes. So your family is obviously very into their culture, and so what type of things do they do? Like, do they as far as? So
my mum's 3 siblings. So 3 of her siblings are Aboriginal and 2 of them aren't.
Yeah.
So her 3 siblings are 2 of them are CEOs at Aboriginal organisations.
Oh wow.
And mum's an Aboriginal consultant, so she works and goes and like consults like mining companies on like reconciliation plans and stuff like that. So they're very big on policy changing in my family. Yeah. But we also love to dance. Yeah. We do, like, my little cousins 2 years ago had their naming ceremony. Oh yeah. So we're really big on that culture.
So what is a naming ceremony? What does that involve?
So like they get given their cultural guidance. It's like godparents basically, and then they get like their Aboriginal name. Oh yeah. We do it a little bit. We did it a little bit older so we could pick names that based on their personalities. That's fair enough. Yeah. So like the eldest, she got like the word for eagle. Yeah. Because she like looks after
everyone else. Yeah.
And so we're very big on that. Dancing, language, we try. It's hard. Yeah. Because there's not much of it left.
Yeah, I know. That's
But and trying to get back on country. Yeah. Which my country is Great Ocean Road. Yeah,
so that was going to be my next question. Whereabouts is your origins from?
So Great Ocean Road and kind of Holes Gap Grampian region. Yeah. So from about Beaufort up past Holes Gap. Yeah. Which then branches in from like Holes Gap and Ararat area all the way to Great Ocean Road. Yeah. So
is that the same area as Ballarat, or is that a different area?
No. So Ballarat, we're the border for the mob of Ballarat. So the Wurrung people. So we're their border from like Anglesea through to Ballarat. Yeah. So we've kind of got like shared a bit more. Line.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about something that's a bit, obviously I want to get into the nitty gritty of it. So obviously it's coming up to the Australian summer, which means not so special day for obviously your family is Australia Day in January. What obviously doesn't mean anything to you, but what does it mean to your family? What does it not mean would be probably a better way to put it. Like what happens on a day like that?
So within like community, we call it either 2 names. They either call it Invasion Day or Survival Day. Yeah. So in my family, we call it Survival Day. Yeah. And we celebrate surviving colonisation and all these things where we could have lost our culture completely.
So is that stuff like the stolen generation? Is that like along that lines, but not that specific?
Generation, White Australia policy. Yes. And then colonisation and like the mining. Yeah. The miners' rush, gold rush. And things like that, and we survived all that, and we're still here. Yeah. So before actually January 26th became Australia Day, we marked it as a day of mourning, and so we made it as a day of mourning, and then it became Australia Day. So we were like, actually, let's celebrate that we're still here and we're the longest living culture on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know when I found that out, but it's actually shocking to find out that Aboriginal Australians are.
We're
the
such
longest.
A cocky country. We think we brag about it. We brag about everything else. We brag about our sport. We brag about like our landscape.
Well, that's something that. Why don't we brag? I know it's I don't want to like suck up to you because you're here, but it surprises me on a day like that there's so much conflict about it. I don't understand why I don't know if you have your reasons. Obviously, do you go to the protests in Melbourne?
It depends on the year.
Yeah.
So on the year and how we're feeling, and so like one year we decided we're just gonna go off the grid. I remember I really wanted to go to this party because
yeah,
that we went to school with, he was having a party. I was like, I really want to go to this party because everyone's going. I know I'm just gonna get in fights with people. So Mum's like, that's okay, we'll go.
Yeah.
And we drove the entire Great Ocean Road in one day.
Oh,
and we just had like a family day and pretended.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just like any other day.
Yeah.
But then some years we go to the march.
Yeah.
Which is really hard because then we have like white extremists.
Yeah, so that's why I want to. Yeah.
As well, so like my brother will get told to kill himself. People like Fred and my 11-year-old cousin that's marching with us and tell her that she should die. And it's like you have to have those conversations on those days and why. To like your little cousins that are 8, 6 and 11.
And you have to talk to them why this is happening.
Why do people want me to die, Tarni?
Yeah.
And it's like,
What? Yeah, what? I know it's a bit hard of a question to ask, but why do you think people are like white extremists? Why do you think they're like that? Because obviously the Aboriginal culture is what started this country.
Yeah.
White fella didn't start this country and I don't know why they're so against it.
It is very much ignorance and lack of education. And I think lack of exposure on what people are used to. And people are used in their comfort zone. Yeah. And they don't want to leave their comfort zone. They haven't been shown anything else. They haven't been educated on anything else. So then they're stuck in their little circle. Yeah, exactly. And they don't know anything else. Yeah. So we can't hate them. Yeah.
Yeah, because then that probably just leads to worse things. But
and the thing is, I don't care about the white extremists and their racism. I know they're racist. Yeah. And I know who they are. Yeah. The main thing I worry about is the hidden racist and the subtle everyday racism.
Yeah, that's worse. Yeah.
That's worse because you get it every day. And you know who the white extremists are.
Yeah.
And you're just well, you can't change you because you don't want to listen. Yeah. So I'm just going to let you do what you do. That's okay.
Yeah, on that day, it's just because I can't remember I think I went to like a soccer match last year or something, and on that day, and I think we arrived in Melbourne just after the protest, but we saw everything on the news, and it's just so strange to see why two groups of people just can't. Not putting the blame on anyone, but obviously there's a blame on one side, and we know who it is. But why they can't get along, about one. I guess obviously Australia Day is coming up, and it's now becoming more relevant because of the meaning of it. It's not really Australia Day, obviously. We all know that. It's not. It's celebrating. It's like White Australia Day. Yeah. It's not Australia Day, but
it's just making sure that people are. It's just all we want is acknowledgement, and I feel like we should just move it to May 8 or something like a bit mate. Like
okay, there you go. I was like, why that? But
let's just make it a bit more fun. Yeah. Or like on the date when Australia federated. Yeah. Became like one country. Yeah. Like, let's do something that actually celebrates Australia becoming
as a whole. Yeah.
Australia as one whole. Because then there was like 7 different nations. Yeah. There weren't Australia. Exactly. There was Victoria, New South Wales. Yeah. New Holland. Like.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Van Diemen's Land. Like. There wasn't Australia
until we all until we federated.
Until 1901, 1st of February, 1st of January, I think it was.
I don't even know what year Captain Cook arrived.
1786.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I have to.
But it wasn't that date when Australia was born. So
yeah.
So that's probably a question, or something that can lead into a new question. What do you think needs to be addressed, maybe in not just white Australia society, but in Australia society as a whole towards Aboriginal people? So I don't know if you saw, but I mentioned we don't learn about Aboriginal history in school. Yeah. Which is one thing that I said during school, and now it baffles me why we don't do that. We learn about Europe and the plague and all that, which is great, but we don't learn about where our country actually came from until we learn about Captain Cook arriving, which is something I just find insane.
I was actually having a chat because my mum has like her close girlfriends and that, and I went and had a couple of glasses of wine with them last night. And I brought up that I was going on this podcast and we had a conversation about this. And what it really comes down to is once you have to talk about educate and teach people on what actually happened. Yeah. then it breaks down a whole lot of stuff.
Barriers,
that happens now. And like the honest truth is that there's trauma on both sides of the story, because nobody wants to own up to the person that took away my pop.
Yeah.
Siblings and stuff like that. Nobody wants to own those family members.
Yeah.
Like, who would?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's very much people don't want to accept what happened, and people aren't ready to talk about it.
Talk about it, yeah.
Because there's some really messed up stuff that happened, and nobody's ready to really talk about it. And I feel like we just need to slowly start talking about it, and have those conversations like at a barbecue.
Yeah.
Or with your mates, and being like, having the conversations, because then it makes it easier.
Yeah.
And there's not such a stigma.
Yeah.
Around it.
Yeah, because it's a little bit off topic, but my girlfriend and I watched the Sapphires the other night with Jess Malboy and that, and there was the scene in there where they came, when it was during the Stolen Generation, when they just rock up and kids have to actually literally run for their life.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's a movie, like it was a scene, but it's probably what happened, and it's really scary to think about. And mums literally getting their kids ripped away from them. Yeah. And it's just like, people don't want to think about that, and they don't want to act like it actually happened. But it happened. And I might be a bit too blunt for some people sometimes. Yeah, that's all right. And I'm just like, well, okay, it happened. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. And like you said, talk about it. Like, it's something that's, even the Stolen Generation, it's not talked about in school. No. Like, why are we not learning about why it was so bad and why it happened? And it's something that I think, like you said, it divides people. It creates a barrier between like white fella and Indigenous or Aboriginal. Yeah. Like, even personally, I if there's a situation where there's a lot of, like, if I'm in the Aboriginal community, I feel uncomfortable because I don't know enough about this community to understand, like, what it's about, because to be honest, I'm ignorant about it. Like, not ignorant, I don't think that's the right word, but you're not educated educated enough to understand those cultural dynamics and protocols. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I say, for instance, that I have 12 brothers and sisters, because within the Aboriginal family dynamic, your cousins, what you guys would call like your first cousins, those are my brothers and sisters. Exactly. So we don't know stuff like that. And like in the Aboriginal community, we don't believe that you just need two parents. Yeah. We believe that it takes a whole family to raise a child. So your mum's sisters so cool. Are your mums. Yeah. And your dad's brothers are your dads, and everybody is your family. And it takes a whole family to raise one kid. It's not just up to two people. Two parents. To take care of it. It's the whole community's responsibility to make sure that kid is okay. It's actually real. I never knew that, and that's something that, like, it actually brings a smile to my face, because it's just a feeling of togetherness. Like, I know my family are like that, but my uncles aren't my parents. But if you can't go to your parents, it's very much. And I'm okay with that, to say, if, like, I don't want to talk to my mum about something. Yeah. Like, I might have had a fight with a boy or a girlfriend or something like that. I can go to my mum's sisters. Yeah, exactly. And be like, this is what happened. Can you help me? Yeah. And I know they'll be there. Yeah. And I know a lot of my friends don't understand that dynamic as well. Yeah. It's so I think I can't remember when it was. It was a couple of years ago or something. So I used to be a football umpire, and at the end of the season, I remember there was an Indigenous footy carnival at Mars Stadium here in Ballarat. Yeah. And I remember turning up. So it was in like December or something, and so it was like 35 degrees. Yeah, it was in October, I remember. Oh, something like that. I was playing netball, okay, there you go. And I was like, oh my god, this is too hot. Yeah, and like the ground had finished being watered and all that, and it was hard, and like it just wasn't very good conditions. But I rocked up, and all these, like, obviously it was an Aboriginal community there, and it's just, everyone's just like together. Everyone's so happy. Yeah. Everyone's just running around having fun. Whereas you see, not trying to again be biased towards Aboriginal culture, but you go to a local footy game now, and everyone's just got, sitting in their own car, or they're sitting with their own little group. There's no there's no sense of togetherness. No. And when I went there, it's just like These little kids are coming up to me when I'm walking out, trying to, you know, high-five me, and I'm just an umpire, just doing it, you know, like, it made me feel like a part of it. And I wasn't, you know, I'm obviously not a part of that culture, but it made me feel a part of it. And I feel like it's something that white fella in Australia are really missing out on. Like, and I don't know why we have to argue about it. Yeah. It's just
like
really
at community
insane to
events
think.
like that, you can trust your kids.
Yeah,
to run around and do
there was kids like running on the oval during the game, and they're just like having a bounce and a kick, and like, oh, it's
you can trust that the community is going to look after each other,
no matter what.
And that you know, if your kid's being naughty, that your best friend or your cousin or your auntie and uncle are going to pull up your kid, but you know that they're always going to be safe because we always
look after each other. Yeah,
and I feel like that is something like the broader Australian community is missing out on.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that we're all connected and we all need to support each other.
Yeah. No matter if we're family or not, we just
we just look out for each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, were you gonna say something? Or?
Nah, it was more like kind of like, I feel like that's why, like, you might have heard it when we went to school and people would call me mum.
Yeah, I have heard that.
I would look after people.
Yeah, because it's in your
that's
nature.
what I'm been raised around.
Bred to do,
is you are to look after the people close
around
to you.
Yeah.
And it was so foreign to someone like the people we went to school and be like, why do you care so much? I'm like, because...
Yeah, that's just who I am.
So that's
how
I am.
Yeah, that's who you're
That's
how
you're
raised. Yeah.
Like that party we went to when one of our friends... He got
Did
really
something.
drunk, and I had to take him to the hospital. And everyone's like, "Why are you taking him to the hospital?" I was like, "Well, no one else is gonna
do it." Yeah, and that's just that's what you're bred to do and what's come naturally, which is again something that a lot of people don't have within them. Have like your friends or people close to you ever met your extended family, like real cultural family? Not that you can think of. Or?
Yeah, a few of like my close friends that I've been friends with, I'll take them to like events and that. Yeah. And I think I dated your close friend Jess.
Yeah.
I took Jessie to her family like birthday, and that had like all my aunties and uncles, and I think that freaked him out. Yeah,
so that's what I was going to ask. How do people react when they're in those sort of situations where they're uncomfortable?
Well, all my aunties just straight up hugged Jess, and I think he had like a little bit of a freak out because he was like, why are all these people hugging me and talking to me? And like my nan still, because she works at the hospital and Jess works in the cafeteria, every single day like that Jessie makes her a coffee, she like sends me a text and and she's like, I saw Jess today. And like a lot of people kind of get a bit nervous because my family are very much will take
anyone under their wing. Yeah.
And you're in my family now and we'll look out for you.
Yeah.
Which kind of freaks some people out. But yeah, I took my girlfriend, my best friend, Emily, to the mission.
Yeah, so
which is a mission. So
as best you can explain it.
Yeah, the best I can in like the nicest way. Yeah. It was almost like a concentration camp.
Okay, yeah.
So after colonization happened, all the churches like rounded us up across the state and made us live on these missions.
Yeah.
And so it was like we needed permits to leave. We weren't allowed to talk anything culture. We weren't allowed to interact with each other. And like a lot of them were like working farms.
When was this?
Not long ago. Like my pop was born on one.
Oh my god.
And lived on one. So like when you're on the Sapphires, the movie Sapphires, for instance, that's on a mission. That's on Kamaraja mission, which is on the river. Yeah. So like now they're all living in there and they're working. Like that's what they have to do in the mission.
Oh my god.
And like to leave, they have to get a signed permit from the mission manager.
And like who runs these? Sorry.
Like the church.
Yeah. Okay. The church runs them. Yeah.
And like you would get food rations and stuff like that. So I took my girlfriend Emily, my best friend, to the mission for the first time, and she's the only person I've ever taken out there.
What did she think of that? Did she like have anything to say about it, or did
she was a bit freaked out. So she's Aboriginal, but she's from Tasmania. And they've got a very different
way of doing things.
Because they were nearly completely wiped out down there
from things like the stolen. Yeah.
Yeah, they hit harder.
Yeah.
So she had never been to a mission, and I took her there, and she was just absolutely amazed. Like people still live on there.
Yeah.
And it's like a community there, but like telling her the stories about that.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit her hard. And people just kind of don't really realise how much I've got going on behind the scenes when I rock up to school.
Yeah.
And like everything that I do.
Yeah, so like, I would never have known this about you. Like, what you and your family have gone through, things like that. Like, I've never known half the stuff you've told me about. And that's just one thing that is creating a barrier between white Australians and Aboriginal Australians, which is something I just don't know why we're not learning about stuff like this, because it's where our country comes from. Like, it's blunt, but it is. There's our country did not come from British people landing here. It didn't start
in 1786.
No, exactly.
It started 60,000
years ago.
Yeah, and like another awkward moment I had probably during growing up was year 10 legal, when everybody went and visited I didn't do legal, but when they visited the prisons. Yeah. And so my pop, he got locked up for public drunkenness. Yeah. So, which is another reason, like, people don't see it, but like, that was racist. Like, he went to jail for years for public drunkenness. Yeah.
People just get like a fine for that.
Well, if you walk down Ballarat Street on a Saturday night.
Exactly. There's hundreds of people.
But my pot went to jail. Yeah. So, and so growing up, I would go visit him in the jail. So jails weren't scary to me. Yeah. And that's something, and none of my friends knew that. Yeah. And so when it came and they were all freaking out, I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's not that scary.
It's not that bad.
I was like, you will be fine. And they're like, how do you know? Have you ever been to one? And I'm like, yeah. And these are my friends I've been friends with since like year 9. Yeah. Or year 7. And girls I went to primary school with. And they're like, what? I had no idea. And I'm like, well, you just don't ask about that stuff. And you just don't show interest in having those conversations.
Exactly. So there's like, so what you were mentioning before, how your pop was locked up for something obviously that wasn't that big and didn't need to happen. Well, when was that, first of all? Was that like
early 2000s?
2000s, yeah. Do you think, like I say, I don't know about this, but do you think that still happens now? Do you think so? It does, yeah.
And it happens to like some of my cousins' parents and that.
Just for stupid little things. Yeah.
And like kids, there is more kids in out of home care right now, Aboriginal kids in out of home care, than there ever was in the stolen generation.
Oh yeah, that's something that actually we learned in legal. It was like the percentage of people locked up that are Aboriginal is very high.
It's like, I'm more like, it was a real big deal for me to finish year 12 because it was more likely that I was going to get pregnant or locked up than actually finish year 12.
The school, that's insane.
Like, that's the statistics. And people kind of judge us off those statistics. But if you look at what's happened to us, it's no wonder those statistics are
happening. Yeah. All right, so we're just going to take a quick break. I hope you join us after this. So, a bit of a change of topic. What sort of community events do your family do? So I saw just recently you're a part of a football program as well. If you want to talk more about that.
So every year, throughout the year, we, as an Aboriginal statewide community, we do a basketball carnival. Yeah. So it's like a mini basketball community. So like the Ballarat community will put in a team, like a juniors team and that. And then we have football, netball, and then we have women's football carnival. So there are 3 carnivals throughout the year.
So the third one, the women's football, you'd be pretty involved in because you're pretty into that.
I'm the team manager for the junior girls. Yeah. My little girls. Yeah. We made it to the grand final and we lost by a point.
Oh, well, that wasn't that long ago, was it?
No. 2 weekends still cut. Yeah. The poor girls were crying.
So do they do they take that seriously? Do they? Oh,
it's playing for sheep stations. Yeah. Like, it is hardcore family commitment. Because so we play for the West Vic team. So that's West Victoria. And so like our mums and dads played for that team and my pop played for that team. Yeah. So it's like, when you wear that tradition, jersey, you're wearing like your family. Yeah. Because a lot of it's by your family groups. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So have you, so I remember in school you did a lot of things to do based on Aboriginal culture. So when you did your textiles, and
textiles, my dress,
and you made a dress. If you want to send through an image of that, I can put it up on the page because that was stunning. Because you won a lot of awards for that, didn't you?
Yeah,
it was emu dress, wasn't it?
Yeah, my little emu dress. So I got our design award at school.
Yeah.
And then I got into top designs, which is the top 10 in the state. And then I've got to go to Melbourne in 2 weeks because I got shortlisted for the Premier Design Award.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's awesome.
You. Yeah, so that's pretty funky.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so, and then during school, I would always be a part of like youth groups. So we did like an Aboriginal youth group. Yeah. And we'd hang out every Wednesday night down at the centre and we'd do activities together. Yeah. And I would also go away on camps where I'd like meet Aboriginal kids from across the state. 1 week every November, I'd paddle like 50 Ks down the Murray.
Oh, wow.
As a part of like a police program.
Yeah.
So the Aboriginal, we put like an Aboriginal kid. A lot of them are kids that have been in contact with the police before. Yeah. So we put them in a boat.
So like troubled kids, sorry. Like,
yeah, kids that have come in contact with the police before.
Yeah.
Or they have family members that have. So we put them in a boat with a police officer. Yeah. So then they have to talk to each other for 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So then
that'd be insane interaction.
Yeah. So then actually, by the end of the week, they're like friends and kids are like riding in like the cop cars to like the different pit spots and hanging out with the coppers by the end of the week. So then like the cops don't see us as naughty kids.
Yeah. So.
And we don't see the cops as bad people.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're not that different.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know if it is to do with racism or not, but do you think there's a reason, so we talked about before, like the high percentage of prisoners are Aboriginal. Do you think there is a reason for that? Do you think of non-education or anything like that? Or
I feel it is education and prejudice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have a family member that has offended, then you're more likely.
Yeah, because they're probably looking out for you or
and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a lot. And you get different sentences and you get treated differently.
Differently, yeah.
As well, which ends in that.
Yeah.
And when you're like, when you've gone through a lot in your life, and if you look at a lot of the kids that are in contact with the police and the justice system, then they are kids that have been through a lot in their life. Yeah. So they might be in out-of-home care, which is more likely for Aboriginal kids. Yeah. They might have a mental illness, which is more likely for Aboriginal kids. Yeah. And things like that contribute to kids ending up being in contact with the justice system, whether Aboriginal or not. Yeah. But the likelihood of them having those factors that contribute to them being in contact with the Aboriginal system,
still so high.
It's higher, which makes it more likely for the Aboriginal kids to be in contact with them.
To get in trouble,
as well. And then you're on top the prejudice and the racism that is within the police culture. Yeah,
no matter what people say.
And no matter what they say in the justice and the court system, you can say as much as you want. Yeah. But there is a cultural issue that needs to be addressed.
Yes. How do you think issues like that, or issues like the lack of education or lack of housing or whatever, can be addressed? Do you think there is any way that it could be addressed?
Well, Victoria is currently the first state working on a treaty.
Oh, yes. I did see something about this. I was searching this up.
So it's very cool. So Victoria is the first state working on a treaty which will help us start navigating those issues around policy making involving Aboriginal people. Yeah. So like, do you know any more about like what that involves? Or so we're currently building our first People's Assembly. So like the kind of governance. So Victoria got broken up into regions, and depending on your population in the region, is how many you vote in your representatives. Yeah. So like a normal election. Yeah, like a normal election. Like, you know, you have this Catherine King, and that for like the Ballarat region. Yeah. So like we voted in our people for like the southwest region of Victoria. Yeah. But then also each like traditional owner group has a representative as well. Yeah. Which formed like the first People's Assembly, which is going to help guide and assist the Victorian government in to do more things in making policy making, but also within the treaty process. Yeah. Because I feel like, I don't know if there is a program implemented at all in at least government schools. Like, because I know there's boarding in like private schools and things like that, but there should be like an assisted program where if
an Aboriginal kid does want to come to a government school, there probably is something like this, but they have like their own class or they have their own mentor to help them get through school, because obviously it's going to be hard for them to make friends and to learn
connect
straight away.
With other people. Yeah, which also it's really hard to do as an Aboriginal young person, connecting with non-Indigenous people, because you have very different values and upbringings and life exposures. We have these things called CASOs, which are career engagement officers, which are like designated for a region, and they go in and support the family and the student and things like that, and making sure that they're okay. But they're really under-resourced. Yeah. And they like could be doing like they could have like 100 kids that they have to look after in their region.
They can't do that.
Yeah, so they look after primary schools and secondary high schools. And it's just so many, and they're just so under-resourced. Yeah. So it does end up falling on the schools, and some schools do really good programs, and then some
don't try as hard.
Don't like, I don't want to bag out our school. I love our school, the high school we went to, but some things they just like chucking up a flagpole. Yeah. An extra flagpole to fly the flag.
I know.
Simple, like you know, simple things like that make you feel welcomed.
Yeah. That is true. Again, something I don't even think about. Our school did only have one flagpole.
Because you notice things like that.
As soon as you walk in. Yeah, obviously you would notice things like that. Because where we went to school, because you came to my school a bit
halfway through. I went to Loreto. I made Loreto get a flagpole while I was
Oh, did you? How'd that go down?
Yeah, look, I was in year 8 when I got the flagpole at Loreto. And I wasn't... Before I came to Ballarat High, I was a naughty kid because I was disengaged. I couldn't make it. I had literally basically no friends at Loreto. Yeah. So I was just like running my own show. Yeah. And doing whatever the hell I want.
Whatever you wanted to.
I was like, I don't have friends. I don't have friends to lose. I'll just say and do whatever the hell I want.
See how it goes.
And see how it goes. And then I think when I moved to Ballarat High, they were like, oh, thank God.
She's gone.
She's gone. But yeah, and then I got to Ballarat High and I was like, oh my God.
So when you come to a school like Ballarat High, because we didn't have much Indigenous throughout probably the whole school, I'd say. Like we had if we didn't have a flagpole, we're not going to do anything else, are we? Did you find it like not confronting, but just uncomfortable when you came in like culturally wise? Because obviously you've grown up
it was a bit
normal. Like in Ballarat.
Yeah, it was a bit harder because I didn't know any other Indigenous kids at our school. Yeah. While like at Loreto, I did know the other Indigenous girls. Yeah. Which was hard because I didn't have that internal support network. But I think like on the 5th week, it was like in humanities history class, and they brought up White Australia policy. Yeah. And they didn't like really tell the full story of it, and like it was like my 5th week at Ballarat High, and I stood up and I was like, that's not what happened. This is what happened. And I was like arguing with the teacher, and I was just like, oh my gosh, they were probably and everyone was like, I'm meant to be making friends, stop being the loud angry kid.
Not being the one that stands up all the time. That's good standing up. It's I know you're only in year 9 and year 9 and you're young, but if that's something that you believe in, that's something you should stand up for. Which is why when the marches and the protests happen on Australia Day, you see a lot of people go off at them, and I don't. Obviously, there are in every protest, even the climate ones now. There's violence. But that's not the majority of people, and the majority of people who are marching want it for a good reason. They're there for. They just want something.
I've never been to a march before the white supremacists came along where there was violence.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Exactly.
Because you bring your kids to it. You're not going to bring your 6-year-olds if you think there's going to be violence.
There's going to be people in masks with bloody whatever else they have, pepper spray or something. I don't know what they have. But
you're not going to bring your 6-year-olds and your baby. Like there's women walking in these marches with their prams. Yeah. And we have elders walking. We're not going to... We're not out there to start a fight.
Exactly.
In front of our toddlers.
And on those days, it's probably the white supremacists that are starting a lot of things of violence and stuff like that.
It's just marching to start a conversation.
Yeah.
That's all. Exactly. It's just a spark and being like, oh, why are you... Because people would like tourists like from America and stuff like that would see us marching and they'll be like, oh, so what are you marching about?
Yeah.
And then we'd have a conversation
and people learn about through that.
And that's all it's for.
Yeah. So you're saying how, so your little siblings and your family that are only 6 or 8 or and that old, do you think when they grow up they'll still have the rich Aboriginal heritage within them, or do you think as time goes on, is it going to dwindle out as elders start to pass away? And
I feel like it really depends on what the people in my age group do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really depends on what we decide to do and how hard we decide to fight for it.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, because I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that I teach
the culture keeps going
my little cousins how to do the dances, what these words mean, and do things like that, and understand what their totem is and what the importance of their totem is, so then they can carry that on in their lives. Yeah,
because I feel like it's something that maybe that if nothing does happen, the people are just going to give up on it. Like not people like people like yourselves will.
It's just
feel like the fight's not happening, it's not going anywhere, and people aren't budging, and maybe it's time to.
You do get burnt out from it.
Yeah, burnt out. That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
you get burnt out, and it's hard to keep going sometimes. But you fight deep, dig in there, and you get in there. Yeah.
I know it's something in this with the government that's in now. It's just. I know with the climate stuff as well, the marches, whatever about that, but they just seem to focus on the wrong things.
Oh my gosh,
and especially when it comes to late January, it's just, obviously it's going to be in the news, but it's just the same thing every year. Oh, yeah, we'll do something about it, we'll do this, we'll do that, but...
We'll have conversations about it.
And then it comes to mid-February and everyone forgets about it. Yeah, until the next year. Yeah. And... I don't know too much about it, but I feel like it's something that's just gonna just dwindle away, and something is really unfortunate, because I think Australia is gonna lose its heritage and where it actually came from, because no one's learning about it, no one's being educated about it, like white fellas not being educated about it, and it's something I said before. It's something that can really help everyone learn and everyone be educated, and being educated with a culture like that that's so rich and has so much variety and so much togetherness, it can help everyone. You don't have to be a part of it, but you can learn about it. You can, you know.
I have a lot of faith though in our generation.
Yes, it's probably different for you,
I have a lot of faith in our age. Ooh, my bad. I have a lot of faith in the millennials and the Gen Zs, because we're a lot more accepting and progressing forward in that space. Yeah. I love baby boomers. Yeah. Love them to bits.
The old farts.
But I feel like once they start moving out of like those higher
roles,
positions,
like in government and all that,
in government and that, and we start having those other generations move up that are a bit more progressive.
Yeah, and probably willing more to actually fight for it, aren't they?
And more willing to have the conversations. Right? Yeah. That's why I think we're going so forward and we're so progressive in policy making in Victoria overall, because we've got Dan Andrews. Yeah. And he's like younger.
Yeah, he's
younger than some of the other ones.
Yeah, he's not a baby boomer. He's a bit younger than that.
Yeah.
He's like our parents' age.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a bit more willing to sit down
and try and help things out. Yeah.
About it. And try to move forward and think about how we can do better as a state, which why I think we're the first state to do a treaty. And
we're probably... would Victoria be the least populated Aboriginal state in Australia? It'd be one of the lowest.
I think we're like one of the... I think Tasmania is the lowest. We're like the second lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're so south, obviously, we're away from all the actual communities, but...
Yeah, and we got
we're still taking a stand.
Harder because we had the bays.
Yeah.
So New South Wales and Victoria, we got hit a lot harder than Western Australia.
Yeah, because we're back. Sorry guys, the camera came out randomly there. But what I was going to say before is I don't want to get too political, but I think a federal Liberal Party is probably not the right way to go forward if we want to try and fix the problem with what's going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dan Andrews' Labor. Probably that's why he's... That's in my view. That's my political view. But
and what really irritates me is when people our age didn't register to vote when they turned 18.
Yeah.
And when it came to election time, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what you're studying about affects my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you realise how much it affects your everyday life.
Yeah.
Who you vote. And election time is really important.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful with who you elect
vote for.
in.
Yeah.
And it's important to actually think about it.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of people, when they vote, wouldn't even realise what it does to Aboriginal communities. Like, what sort of programs can be implemented if a certain government, if a certain party gets in. Like, yeah, like you said, every vote does count, and it counts for more than you think. It's
because if you think about, because like currently our Prime Minister is Liberal.
Yeah.
The votes between Labor and Liberal are the same amount of votes of people that didn't vote.
Yeah. Oh wow. So there you go.
So the amount of people that didn't vote or did invalid votes could have made the difference between us having
which
a
government came in
MP and Labor MP.
It's just, I don't know why people don't vote. Come on, guys, gotta vote.
And it's free.
Yeah, exactly. It's not hard to do either.
It's not going to cost you money.
Yeah.
To go do it, and you can do it on the weekends, and you can do it during the week.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. It has more of an effect than you think. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much running out of questions. It's been a good chat. Obviously that's why I wanted to start a podcast like this, is to talk about things that people could probably hear my voice. I was really uncomfortable because I'm uneducated. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think about things. But now that I'm obviously from a 40-minute podcast, I'm not going to be able to learn everything. But I know more about what type of stuff does happen in your family and the impact that, you know, things
do have on
Aboriginal culture.
And the people around you don't realise what's going on behind everything, I think, as well. And to have those conversations and do it in a respectful way where you actually want to learn and listen, which I think you've done really well. Although you might feel uncomfortable, you've done well because you've listened and then you've asked questions, and I feel like that's all people have to do to learn more. Yeah.
It's something small that everyone can do to just... about Aboriginal communities or any other community, it's just... we just need to talk. If people talk, everything will be better. You don't need to throw bloody... I don't know what they're about to do at marches, pepper spray and all that. You don't need violence. You don't need all that.
Don't get angry. Just sit down and have a conversation.
Because it's not like, again, we've already talked about this, but it's not something that you're not forcing it. You're not trying to be angry about it. Like, Aboriginal marches are just... there's something that they're just fighting for what is theirs. Anyways, we've already delved into this, but...
It's alright. Go on for hours.
But so I think we'll wrap it up there. So thanks for coming on, Tarni. It's been a really good chat. Hope everyone's learned as much as I have about what goes on in your family and in Aboriginal culture as a whole.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Toby.
That's all right. So thanks for listening, guys, or watching, or whoever you're consuming the podcast. I just want to say thanks again for the support. It's been really good. So aiming to get an episode a week, probably every Wednesday. So yeah, we keep going. But thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next week.